Sunday night is football night. Tony Romo is back and ready to get the Cowboys back to winning ways as they take on the high-powered Chargers. Then Thursday, September 8th, it's time to get back to football as the NFL season kicks off with the defending Super Bowl champion Packers taking on the Saints. But right now the business is gymnastics and the 2011 Women's Visa Championships. St. Paul, Minnesota. Al Troutwig, Tim Daggett, Elfie Schlegel, Andrea Joyce. Here's Michaela Maroney. And we'll be talking a little bit later who's gone up and who's gone down, but you've had some nice things to say about her tonight.
Well, she was fantastic on her first event, the vault, 16.0, just a huge number, best so far. And then she went to bars where she wasn't so great night one and did a very clean exercise. So there's been a lot of turnaround from day one to day two. Everybody looked very jittery. They've looked a lot better here tonight.
And Michaela is beautiful on this apparatus. She has great artistry. The question is, can she stay on? She looks like a completely different gymnast out there tonight. A couple of little balance checks, but this is going all very well for her.
Very nice.
When we spoke with Michaela earlier in the week, we were so impressed by her confidence. We asked her what it was like competing in the senior division. She said, oh, I feel like I've been doing this my whole life.
Dismount. Well, very strong exercise. Just a couple of tiny little balance checks. But overall, a very strong routine.
That'll be an improvement from her 13.4.
Without a doubt, it will surpass that. Galina Marinova, one of her coaches, great Bulgarian gymnast.
Well, it's the apparatus where dreams die, isn't it?
Yeah, it can oftentimes be. This her dismount, or round off double backflip. Nice height in the air. Just watch that step. Now you see, if it's bigger or longer than a shoulder width apart, it is 0.3 of a point deduction. Marta likes it. We talked to Marta about day one, and she said, yes, it was bad. I would sound stupid if I said it wasn't, but she said, I'm not panicking. With these athletes, they're not supposed to be ready at this point. This is part of their preparation. We pushed them to raise their start values, and this is the very beginning of preparation for the World.
But she was surprised with the number of falls. That she admits to.
And at the dreaded beam in a moment is going to be Alicia Sacramone. She had something, I found it sort of funny this week. She was saying that after that fateful fall in Beijing that hurt the gold medal chances of Team USA so much, she walked past and Nastia Liukin was set to go, and she looked at her and said, Nastia, you handle it.
Yeah. And you know, Alicia is doing the exact same mount. She has been very consistent, I have to say.
Now, Tim, you did this yesterday when you were coaching your fine gymnast from Longmeadow. Do these last-minute conversations really help?
Yeah, you know, for some kids, you have to know the athlete. Some kids thrive on that. They need that. They want somebody just standing next to them till the last moment. And others, if you do that, you're getting in their bubble and it's bad news. But, you know, Mihai knows this athlete, and she knows Mihai. I'm sure she wants that at that point in time.
But she's going to start off by staring down that beam from the end with that powerful mount. And when she gets up on this beam, I tell you, it's incredibly aggressive. She's become a top beam lifter.
Oh, whoa, that was close. Very nice. Alicia has said when you think about your dreams coming true, you don't envision a mistake. And that has been the fuel for this comeback. She repeatedly says it, that it is about redemption.
And when she is on, she doesn't waver. A little bit of a check there. This is an event that she sees herself contributing once again at the World Championships for the American team.
The thing that I like about this routine so far, she has had those small little checks, but it hasn't made her frantic in any way. Able to deal with it.
She does.
Big dismount landing right, I think, right before the bell, so I think she should be safe from too long of a routine deduction.
2 down, 1 to go.
So watch this famous mount, the same one she did in Beijing, and she is off to the right. You see that foot barely on the beam, but in gymnastics, you got some powerful toes. Look at that, it is just somehow squeeze and crack walnuts with those suckers.
Yeah, those toes do a lot of work. And the dismount.
A little bit off to the side here as well.
But a nice combination into that double pike.
Well, Elfie, you have to do a lot of falling off to learn how to do that with your toes, don't you?
Believe me.
Our first look at Sabrina Vega from Carmel, New York, just north of New York City.
She's also a first-year senior, but she says that, you know, the way USA Gymnastics structures it right now, she says, I've felt like a senior last year, so it's no transition for me. That foot was into white, which means it'll be a 10th of a point.
I like this young lady. I love the exercise. Great choreography. Much better routine.
That's great, you know, at the end of a routine when you see a smile, and that was a real one. That was a grateful I'm done, and I did good.
14.9 for Alicia Sacramone. That's 3/10 less than she did on night 1. Now to Chelsea Memel, who was tied for 3rd, and I would think that finishing on the podium here, Elfie, would be the next logical step to proving that she deserves to be part of the conversation.
She should be, but on this event, this is not a strong event for Chelsea. She's still making her way back. This is easy for her. Taking baby steps in this comeback. This one, she says she needs a little bit more time.
Yeah, that vault compared to like a Jordan Weaver, that is 1.5 less in start value. The maximum she can get is 15.0.
Thanks.
Jordan Weber, Michaela Maroney, their vaults start at a 16.5. Chelsea is capable of doing a 15.8 vault. She says that it's just not there yet. And her dad has said repeatedly, I am not going to push this kid to the point that she has another injury. He says, I could not live with myself if I had done that.
And realistically, should Chelsea make the World Championship team, I doubt this would be an event that Marta Caroli would put her on. She shouldn't.
We'll get Chelsea Memmel's score in a moment. I can tell you Sabrina Vega got a 14.5 on her floor exercise. When we come back, the big-time leader, Jordan Weber, shows us how she handles that big lead she's got in St. Paul. A year ago at the Visa Championships, Jordan Weber's story was largely one of injury. Well, here she is feeling a lot better and even feeling good. She still has a bandage on her right ankle. Uneven bars, up by a lot.
And she crashed the first day of training out on the podium.
Scary one.
Big time on this event.
She's upgraded her routine since the American Cup, which took place in March of this year.
It was that skill that she had a fluke mistake on. Darn near perfect there. Biggs dismount, double twisting, double somersault. And that was better than night one, too.
What are you learning about Jordan Weber and the expectations that you have from her here?
Well, I'm learning that it's not just her physicality and her dynamic power. She's also able to deal with the pressure. I mean, every kid, they want a lot of things in gymnastics. They want to win a Visa National Championships as well.
To Shawn Johnson on the balance beam.
Shawn said that after the first night of competition, she felt that she really proved to everyone that she went back to the gym after the classic competition and worked extremely hard. She said that she was able, on the first night of competition, to let go of what everyone was thinking of her, watching her, and become one with the competition. She said that's very important to her.
And, you know, just a couple moments ago, as she gets ready, this is a big tumbling pass right here. Her most challenging.
True tumbling.
Wow.
That has been very consistent here.
But just a few moments ago, she watched her teammate, Gabrielle Douglas, who was having a much better night. Day two, just really kind of melt under the pressure and have a huge fall and then another gigantic mistake. And that is an addition. Night one, Marta Caroli had said, take that out, Shawn. You haven't been making it. Back in the routine.
A little bit of a balance check. You know, she did the same thing.
Yes, she did.
In the first night of competition. There were little checks here and there. Won the gold medal in 2008 on this event, and she said she felt the pressure. She felt that all eyes were on her. Just the dismount.
Wow.
Nice job, Shawn Johnson.
That's one of gymnastics' great faces.
And Shawn says that winning for me is not winning the all-around. It's hitting and being consistent. Well, Shawn Johnson, your definition, you just won.
Now Rebecca Bross on the vault. She's had back-to-back falls off the balance beam on both nights of competition.
This is difficult for Rebecca. She can do it well, but those ankles.
Oh, golly.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
obviously see the shaking of the head, the resignation. Everybody knows this goes with the territory, and they hate it. How unbelievably hard for a gymnast like Aly Raceman, who is going on with the competition.
Well, they had all the bad things that can happen on a vault. She was under-rotated. She was twisting still as she hit the ground. And as a gymnastics coach and a gymnast, every single person in this arena that is affiliated with gymnastics knows that that can be the deadliest of combinations. An under-rotated, still twisting into the floor landing.
Well, one of the things that Alexandra Raceman is known for is being able to concentrate and focus, and that's going to be tested here.
Big mistake there, grabbing the beam. You hear the crowd there applauding Rebecca being taken off the podium.
It was as if she didn't really care about the overtime bell. She was taking her time, clearly rattled, not her best, but under the circumstances, she did okay.
Yeah, no question about it. She was extremely rattled.
The defending national champion out in a wheelchair here in St. Paul. Lead is insurmountable heading into the fourth rotation. 5.5 points over Michaela Moroney. Then it's Chelsea Memel with Alexandra Raceman right behind. It cost Raceman, at least for now, a top 3 spot. That balance beam routine that required about a minute and a half conversation with her coach, sort of to talk about what emotionally just happened. We have so much sympathy here for Rebecca Bross, Al Troutwig, along with Tim Daggett and Elfie Schlegel. There was no music playing, there was no floor exercise, and so everybody in this building, which is filled with gymnastics parents, just was aghast at what happened.
Yeah, I mean, everybody kind of in shock. It's, like I said, though, it had all of the worst combinations. That under-rotated landing, and the thing that you just cannot do, you cannot be twisting into the ground Yeah, that's a bad one.
And Elfie, you said right before she went down the runway that this is a difficult vault for Rebecca Bras.
Difficult for her because of all the problems she's been having with her ankles, and you really have to feel for her. She was trying so hard this week. Day one of competition, a trooper trying to get that vault back, doing everything in her power, but oh my goodness.
And then Allie Raisman had to, as they were still attending to Rebecca Bras, mount the balance beam, but she got through it. Back to gymnastics after this. When we wrap up here in St. Paul, switch over to Universal Sports for Around the Gym with Nastia Lukin and John Roethlisberger. They'll talk to the new junior national champion, Caitlin Ohashi, who has an unfortunate birthday.
Yeah, she does. She is not age eligible for the Olympic Games. I think she would have certainly been in contention to make that U.S. team for 2012. She'll have to wait 4 years for her chance.
We head to the fourth rotation, watching Alicia Sacramone on the floor.
Had problems in the first night of competition. She actually had a fall.
Changes the pass.
She added floor exercise, said that this would increase her chances of making the world team.
Okay, go put ice and it's fine. Okay?
Go ahead, go put ice on it. All of it.
And that was actually quite good for Alicia. You know, one of the places where she struggles on floor is to stay in bounds. She was able to on all of her tumbling runs. Good job.
So Shawn Johnson is done, Alicia Sacramone is done, and after this, on the uneven bars, Chelsea Memmel will be done.
Chelsea is capable of doing more. She trained a much harder routine than this all week long. Once again, though, Dad said no way. We'll get there. And that is the first mistake. We have seen Chelsea make. Out of 3 competitions, the qualifier for this, day 1, and now day 2. And that was a very uncharacteristic fall for Chelsea. Just didn't have enough energy going over the bar.
She says bars has been the hardest in her comeback. She has all the parts. She said the conditioning is what has given her some trouble, but as Tim said, that was an easy skill.
Oh my goodness.
Oh dear. She's done.
She's done, yes. I don't know. It's hard to believe, but
don't you think that has something to do with the injury?
There's absolutely no question.
And yet, Jordan Weber will try to celebrate a national championship. It seems like the natural progression for the 16-year-old. It really challenges your gymnastics memory to think of a time when an athlete went into a final rotation up by 5.5 points. But here is 16-year-old Jordan Weber about to mount the balance beam and seal this national championship. She's won 2 American Cups.
There is a lot of action going on in this routine. It is extremely taxing.
And after this performance, both day 1 and day 2, I would say that a lot of people will have Jordan Weber as the front runner for the gold medal in the all-around in Tokyo at the World Championships this fall.
The coach, John Geddard, said she's usually a rock, but in the first night of competition, she had to check almost everything. And of course, that's not good enough for him because he's looking beyond. He's looking towards the World Championships. And right here, right near the end of the routine comes one of her most difficult skills.
Back flip with a full twist, great, and she connects it. Little bit slow there, but she gets high praise from Marta Karolyi.
One more skill left. Combination dismount. Oh, wow.
How would you guys describe what she's done to this field here tonight?
Decimated. I mean, she is just so prepared for this competition. She has waited so long. When she was a little kid, a junior, people thought she was the best gymnast in the United States. She had to wait until the birthday said it was okay. This in her first senior year. There is your Visa National Championship. A title that every single one. Oh, and that is not good right there because Chelsea has had some shoulder problems in the past. Has dislocated a shoulder.
As he should be. Jordan says she couldn't possibly love any other sport,
In front of everybody.
but she loves gymnastics.
You know, I read a comment in one of the local newspapers that they wondered why she wore gold on the first night of competition. Turns out it was the perfect fashion statement to make. Let's go down to Andrea Joyce to find out a little bit more about Rebecca Bross. Andrea?
Well, Al, Rebecca Bross is still in the building. The top priority was to get her knee stabilized, so they've been wrapping it. She's been back in a room with several members of USA Gymnastics and with the Dr. Larry Nasser. So they've been stabilizing that. They're going to take her to the hospital for x-rays. Now, the initial reports are that they do not believe that it's an ACL. They think that she injured her kneecap. I just spoke to her coach, Valery Liukin, and he just said it's not an ACL. At least he doesn't think it is. He said her kneecap, and I said, well, that seems like that would be less serious. Could she come back from something like that? And he said this knee was already weak. She had injured it a couple of years ago, and he said, could she come back? Probably not this year. Back to you guys.
Those are tough words. Probably not this year.
Gosh.
So Alexandra Raceman in 4th place after the 3rd rotation. I thought it was so poignant when she got done on the balance beam and the score knocked her out of the top 3. She stood there with her coach Mihai Breshchen, and they looked at each other as if to try and decipher what the heck just happened.
Out of bounds. 1/10 of a point.
Well, with Rebecca Bross's injury and Alexandra Raceman not being as powerful as we've seen after that Chelsea Memmel's injury, we're going to have a surprising podium top three, and it's a battle for second as we wrap things up in St. Paul after this. The 2011 Visa Championships brought to you by Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective. By AT&T, rethink possible. And by Visa, proud sponsor of Team USA. More people go with Visa. Jordan Weber has it all locked up. Alexandra Raceman is right now in second place. But Michaela Maroney could take the silver medal and move ahead of Raceman with a 13.95 here on the floor exercise that will bring this competition to a close.
She should be able to do that.
She scored a 13.65 day one. Well, a very nice job there from Michaela, not just on floor, but all day long. A much better performance than we saw day one.
So we will have to wait and process that number and see what color medal it's going to be for Michaela Maroney. Meanwhile, interesting conversation to come with Shawn Johnson and our new champion, Jordan Weber. Here's Andrea Joyce.
You know, Al, Jordan had told us the other day that she is a little bit of a scoreboard watcher. So watching this competition, I mean, you really ran away with it. What was that like for you to be competing out there? I mean, did it relax you a little bit? I mean, you were just rock solid.
Well, I definitely didn't focus on the scores too much. I still wanted to go out and do my best and improve from Thursday. And, you know, I had a lot of fun, and I'm glad it turned out good.
You went to the Olympic trials in Philadelphia in 2008 to watch. What did you learn from that? What mental notes did you take that you think is going to help you through this pressure-packed year?
I definitely watched other older girls and saw how confident they were when they competed, and saw how aggressive they were, and I tried to put that in my own routines too.
I know that you're out here and you're in a zone and you're competing, and as I said, you were solid, but as you see something like what happened to Rebecca Bross, how difficult was it for everyone out here to keep going? I mean, there was just a complete hush in this crowd. Yeah,
it was definitely hard to see one of our very own teammates get hurt like that, and it's so sad, but you know, personally, we just have to stay focused and compete for our team and stay strong.
Congratulations on your first senior national title, and the last time that Shawn Johnson was competing at these nationals in 2008, you won the title. How different was this experience for you?
It's a little bit different, but I have to start somewhere. I'm on the road to the comeback, and my biggest goal is next year, but it feels great. I made a huge improvement from classics, and I couldn't be happier.
Well, you said, you know, I'm not the same old Shawn Johnson, but we saw a lot of flashes of the old Shawn Johnson. I mean, that's a good thing, right?
It is a good thing, you know, to have that, you know, girl that I was in 2008 still there is what I want, but I've matured, I've grown up, I'm doing a little different gymnastics, so I want to be the new Shawn this time.
We know that you take this seriously, and we know that now, after what you did here, there are plenty of other folks who are probably taking it seriously as well, the comeback. Do you think you did enough to possibly put yourself on the world team?
My coach was just kind of joking about that a few minutes ago, and I was like, oh my goodness, you know, I don't know. I don't want to, you know, think that way yet. I'm just going to stick with it and go to training camp and hopefully, you know, just do whatever is best for the team.
It's really fun to see you back out there. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Al?
Okay, Andrea, now the final results, and Michaela Maroney gets a score good enough to move past Alexandra Raisman. It's by a lot. It's almost 0.6 of a point. So gold and a first ever senior national championship to the 16-year-old from Michigan. Then it's Michaela Maroney. Then it's Alexandra Raisman. And after that, Mackenzie Caquato and Sabrina Vega. But you can watch a lot of gymnastics and not see someone win by 6.15 points. Quick final thought. What's the process now, Tim, to get this team to represent the United States?
Well, the first process, if I were running this thing, I would have a session on dealing with Rebecca Bross, because every single athlete and coach in this building, they all saw it, like you said, and that is a devastating blow to Team USA. They first got to get together on that, wrap their arms around it, understand that they still have a strong enough team to vie for any color medal at the World Championships, but they got to get their heads around that first.
But there's another step, Tim and Al, and they have to go to the verification camp, which will take place in Texas under the watchful eye of Marta Caroli. That will be a process. That will be intense, and it will be very difficult. That's where the team will be selected.
Those World Championships will be in Tokyo, Japan, and we'll have coverage on Universal Sports and NBC Sports. So Alicia Sacramone walked out of the building with a slight limp. Looks like she's okay. Chelsea Memel with ice on her shoulder. And, of course, the story with Rebecca Bross includes a feel better kid. Tomorrow, the men are in competition at the Visa Championships at 4:30 Eastern on NBC. Sunday Night Football is back. Tony Romo and the Cowboys take on the Chargers tomorrow night. Then the season begins for real, September 8th, as the defending Super Bowl champion Packers take on the Saints. Coming up next, it's Law & Order SVU. Then at 11:30, 10:30 Central, it's Saturday Night Live, hosted by Anne Hathaway. This is Al Trowey for Elfie Schlegel, Tim Daggett, and Andrea Joyce. Congratulations to Jordan Weber. Godspeed, Rebecca Bross. Good night from St.